Hello, you're watching Movie Snapshot Scenes, and this is the summary of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. A hot, miserable summer dragged on for Harry Potter. Stuck at the Dursleys' house, he was cut off from the wizarding world, receiving no news from his friends. Worse, the entire country was pretending that Lord Voldemort had not returned. The SU, Ministry of Magic, and the Daily Prophet refused to acknowledge the truth, and rumors spread that Harry was lying about what had happened. One evening, while walking through a playground, Harry and his cousin Dudley were suddenly attacked by Dementors. The creatures surrounded them, filling the air with a bone-chilling cold. Dudley collapsed in terror, but Harry managed to cast a Patronus charm, driving the Dementors away. Barely a moment later, an official letter appeared, informing him that he had been expelled from Hogwarts for using magic outside of school. Panicked, he returned home, only to find that his uncle and aunt were furious. Just as things seemed hopeless, another letter arrived, saying he would have a hearing at the ministry. His fate would be decided there. One night, a group of wizards arrived at Privet Drive, the Order of the Phoenix, led by Mad-Eye Moody, Kingsley, Shacklebolt, and Nymphadora Tonks. They had come to escort Harry to safety. They flew through the night on broomsticks, passing over London until they reached their hidden destination, number 12, Grimmauld Place. Inside, Harry reunited with Ron and Hermione, but his joy quickly turned to frustration. He learned that the adults had kept information from him. The Order of the Phoenix, a secret group led by Dumbledore, was preparing to fight Voldemort. However, the Ministry refused to believe in the Dark Lord's return and was working against them. To Harry's shock, he also met Sirius Black, his godfather, who revealed that Grimmauld Place was his family's ancestral home. The house was filled with dark magic, and Kreacher, a bitter house elf, resented their presence. As the days passed, Harry grew more frustrated. No one took him seriously, and he felt isolated. But soon, he would have to face something even worse: his trial at the Ministry of Magic. The day of Harry's hearing at the Ministry of Magic arrived. Mr. Weasley accompanied him through the vast golden halls of the Ministry, where witches and wizards bustled about. As they reached the courtroom, Harry's stomach churned with nerves. Inside, he faced a full panel of Wizengamot judges, including Cornelius Fudge, the Minister of Magic. Fudge, determined to discredit Harry, accused him of illegally using magic in front of a muggle. Harry defended himself, explaining that the Dementors had attacked him and his cousin, but Fudge refused to believe that Dementors could have appeared in Little Whinging. Just when things seemed hopeless, Albus Dumbledore entered the courtroom. With calm authority, he presented evidence that Harry had acted in self-defense and revealed that the Dementors had not been sent by the Ministry, raising troubling questions. Despite Fudge's protests, the majority of the Wizengamot voted in Harry's favor. He was cleared of all charges. Back at Grimmauld Place, the celebrations were short-lived. Sirius, though thrilled for Harry, remained bitter about being confined in his family's house. As a wanted man, he couldn't leave without risking capture. Meanwhile, tension grew between Sirius and Mrs. Weasley, who insisted that Harry was too young to be involved in the Order's work. Soon, the summer ended, and Harry, Ron, and Hermione returned to Hogwarts. However, Hogwarts was different this year. The Ministry had interfered, placing Dolores Umbridge as the new defense against the dark arts professor. She was a small woman in pink robes, with a sugary sweet voice that masked a cruel and controlling nature. In her first lesson, she announced that students would not be practicing defensive spells. Instead, they would only study theory from Ministry-approved books. Harry, outraged, challenged her, insisting that Voldemort had returned. The classroom fell silent. Umbridge's smile faded. She called Harry a liar and sentenced him to detention. That evening, Harry discovered the true extent of her cruelty. She forced him to write, "I must not tell lies," over and over with a cursed quill. As he wrote, the words cut into his skin, leaving behind painful bleeding scars. Hogwarts no longer felt like home. The Ministry was watching, Umbridge was gaining power, and Harry knew that a dark year lay ahead. As weeks passed, Professor Umbridge tightened her control over Hogwarts. She was no ordinary teacher, she was the Ministry's eyes inside the school. Any student who spoke against the Ministry or mentioned Voldemort's return was punished. She gave out cruel detentions, dismissed Professor Trelawney from her teaching post, and even banned certain books. But worst of all, Umbridge refused to teach students how to defend themselves. With the Dark Lord back, Harry knew they couldn't just sit and do nothing. That was when Hermione had an idea. If Umbridge wouldn't teach them real defense, they would teach themselves. With careful planning, she and Ron spread the word among trusted students. They arranged a secret meeting in Hogsmeade, inside the hidden upstairs room of the Hog's Head Inn. The turnout was larger than expected. Many students wanted to learn how to fight, including Neville Longbottom, Luna Lovegood, and even Cho Chang, a girl Harry had secretly liked for some time. Harry, though hesitant at first, agreed to lead the group. They called themselves Dumbledore's Army, or DA for short. Hermione found the perfect place for them to train, the Room of Requirement, a magical space that provided exactly what they needed. Their lessons began in secret. Harry taught them Expelliarmus, Stupefy, Protego, and even the Patronus charm. He was impressed by their dedication, especially Neville, who struggled but never gave up. As the weeks passed, they grew stronger and their confidence increased. However, Umbridge was growing suspicious. She formed the Inquisitorial Squad, made up of her loyal student supporters, including Draco Malfoy. The squad had the power to deduct points and punish anyone breaking the rules. The hunt for the secret group intensified. Meanwhile, Harry began experiencing strange dreams, visions of a long, dark corridor inside the Ministry of Magic. Each time, he felt as if he was being pulled towards something. Then, one night, his dream took a terrifying turn. He saw Mr. Weasley being attacked by a massive snake. Harry woke up, heart pounding. Something told him that what he had seen was real. Without hesitation, he rushed to Dumbledore's office. To his horror, his vision had been true. Mr. Weasley had been attacked by Voldemort's snake, Nagini. Thanks to Harry's warning, the Order saved Mr. Weasley's life just in time. But this event left everyone unsettled. Harry's connection to Voldemort was stronger than ever. After Arthur Weasley's attack, Harry couldn't shake the feeling that something was deeply wrong. He realized that he wasn't just seeing Voldemort's actions, he was somehow inside his mind. This terrified him. If Voldemort could send visions to him, could he also see into Harry's thoughts? Dumbledore, still avoiding Harry, arranged for Severus Snape to give him special lessons in occlumency, a form of magic that blocked the mind from intrusion. The lessons were brutal. Snape forced his way into Harry's memories, making him relive painful moments from his past. Every time Harry tried to push back, Snape overpowered him. It was humiliating, but Dumbledore insisted it was necessary. Meanwhile, Dumbledore's army continued their secret training. Their skills improved, and bonds between them grew stronger. Harry, despite the pressure on him, found himself drawn to Cho Chang, who was still grieving over Cedric Diggory's death. One evening, after a DA meeting, Cho suddenly kissed him. It was awkward, unexpected, but for a brief moment, Harry felt happiness. However, their secret group was about to be exposed. One of the members, Marietta Edgecombe, betrayed them to Umbridge. Using information from Marietta, Umbridge discovered the Room of Requirement and caught Harry red-handed. She dragged him to Dumbledore's office, where Cornelius Fudge and several Aurors were waiting. Fudge was delighted. He finally had proof that Dumbledore was building an army against the Ministry. But Dumbledore, always a step ahead, calmly took the blame for the group, claiming that the students had acted under his orders. Before Fudge could arrest him, Dumbledore performed a spectacular vanishing spell, disappearing in a flash of fire and leaving Umbridge in charge of the school. With Dumbledore gone, Hogwarts became a nightmare. Umbridge ruled like a dictator, enforcing endless rules, banning student gatherings, and using cruel punishments. She appointed herself headmistress, taking full control. The teachers, though disgusted, were powerless to stop her. Even worse, Harry's visions of the mysterious corridor at the ministry were becoming stronger. Something was waiting for him there, calling to him. As Umbridge's power grew, rebellion spread through the school. Fred and George Weasley led a spectacular prank revolt, setting off enchanted fireworks, turning hallways into swamps, and causing chaos wherever they went. Their final act was their most legendary. They quit school in a blaze of glory, flying away on broomsticks while the students cheered. Hogwarts was in turmoil, but something even darker was waiting for Harry. His connection to Voldemort was growing, and soon it would lead him straight into a deadly trap. As the chaos at Hogwarts continued, Harry's visions of the mysterious corridor in the Ministry of Magic became more intense. Every night, he dreamed of a locked door at the end of a long, dark hallway. Then, one night, the dream changed. He saw Sirius Black inside the corridor, struggling, being tortured by Voldemort. Panic set in. If his vision was real, then Sirius was in danger. Harry knew he had to act, but there was one problem. Umbridge had completely cut off communication. From Hogwarts, all the fireplaces were monitored, and owls were being intercepted. Desperate, Harry and Hermione devised a plan to distract Umbridge. Pretending they knew where Dumbledore had gone, they lured Umbridge into the Forbidden Forest. Once deep inside, they encountered a group of centaurs. When Umbridge insulted them, calling them filthy half-breeds, the centaurs lost their patience and dragged her away, ignoring her screams. With Umbridge gone, Harry, Ron, Hermione, Ginny, Neville, and Luna rushed to the school's Flu network and contacted Grimmauld Place. To their shock, Creature, Sirius's bitter house elf, confirmed that Sirius was indeed gone. It was all the proof Harry needed. Sirius was at the Ministry, and Voldemort had him. Without wasting time, the group flew to London on Thestrals, invisible, winged creatures only visible to those who had seen death. They arrived at the Ministry of Magic and made their way to the Department of Mysteries, the very place from Harry's dreams. Inside, they found a massive, eerie chamber filled with prophecies. At the center of the room, Harry discovered a glass orb with his name on it. Confused, he reached for it, when suddenly, Death Eaters emerged from the shadows. Lucius Malfoy stepped forward, revealing the truth. Voldemort had tricked Harry. Sirius was never here. The vision had been a trap to lure him into retrieving the prophecy, a record of a prediction made about Harry and Voldemort. Harry refused to hand it over, and a battle broke out. Spells flew in every direction as the 6 students fought desperately against the Death Eaters. Though they held their ground, they were outnumbered and overpowered. Just when all seemed lost, the Order of the Phoenix arrived, Sirius, Lupin, Tonks, and others. The real fight had begun, but the cost would be devastating. The battle inside the Department of Mysteries turned into pure chaos. Spells exploded through the air as the Order of the Phoenix fought fiercely against the Death Eaters. Harry, still clutching the fragile prophecy, dodged curses while trying to reach his friends. Ron had been hit with a confusion spell. Neville's nose was broken, and Hermione lay unconscious after being cursed. Amid the chaos, Bellatrix Lestrange, a cruel and sadistic Death Eater, dueled Sirius Black. Their wands clashed in bursts of light, and for a moment Sirius laughed, taunting her. But then it happened. A jet of red light struck Sirius in the chest. Time seemed to slow as he stumbled backward and fell through the veil, a mysterious, ancient archway. He was gone. Harry stood frozen in horror. He ran to the archway, expecting Sirius to step back out, but there was nothing. He had vanished forever. Bellatrix cackled in triumph before fleeing. Consumed with rage, Harry chased after her, throwing curses wildly. He caught up to her in the main atrium of the Ministry, screaming, "Crucio!" The spell hit her, but Harry lacked the true hatred to cause real pain. Then, everything went cold. Lord Voldemort had arrived. With a single movement, he disarmed Harry and prepared to finish him. But before he could strike, Dumbledore appeared. The battle between the two great wizards was like nothing Harry had ever seen. Fire, water, and raw magic clashed in a duel that shook the entire atrium. Voldemort, realizing he could not win, suddenly possessed Harry. An unbearable pain shot through him as Voldemort's voice echoed in his mind, trying to break him. But Harry, despite his agony, thought of love, of Sirius, of the people who cared about him. The Dark Lord could not stand such emotions. With a final scream, he fled Harry's body and disapparated just as Ministry officials arrived. Fudge stood in stunned silence. He had seen Voldemort with his own eyes. The truth could no longer be denied. In the days that followed, the wizarding world changed. The Ministry admitted Voldemort's return, Umbridge was removed, and Dumbledore returned as headmaster. But for Harry, there was no comfort. He had lost Sirius, the closest thing to family he had ever known. Dumbledore finally explained the prophecy. Harry and Voldemort were destined to face each other, and only one could survive. The war had begun,